So we were down in Fire Club, and where did we go for Fire Club again? Punta Cana. We were at Fire Club at Punta Cana. Your mom was down there, and we were like the first or second night, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, Devin, I got to show you Jackson." So the first thing she did is show me you with your shirt off, looking ripped, and I was like, she was like, "Take it after mom," and I was like, "Well, you're one hell of a trainer, so I don't blame him." But I wanted to be able to connect with you because she said that you're exercise science.
I'm not actually.
Okay.
I'm doing business entrepreneurship.
Okay, good.
And then from there,
Smart move.
I'm getting my certified personal trainer license. Actually, I have my test on the 22nd.
What body are you using? The
NASM.
NASM, sweet.
Yeah, same one my mom used.
Sweet.
So, I'm studying. I've been studying for that. So it's a lot of information.
It's like Spanish.
It literally is like Spanish.
Yeah, you just have to learn a whole new language.
It's insane.
All right, I'm gonna quiz you on it. Ready?
All right, I'm ready.
What's the OPT model?
My mom said that you would ask me the exact same thing.
Let's go. She's a smart woman.
It's it's stabilization, endurance, I can't say it right.
Hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy.
So, not hypertrophy, like hypertrophy, but quick. Hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like a cat, like purr, high purr. Like
Hyper.
a cat's hind. Yeah,
Okay.
you get it?
Hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy. We'll work on it.
Okay, all right.
And then muscular strength, maximal strength,
Yes.
and then power.
Let's go. Okay.
So that's like a song.
Okay, so let's go one layer deeper. You know the protocols at Burn, right? You know what we do. You've been here before.
I've been here once.
Okay,
And I
but
would
your mom sees it. She's obviously a master of it.
Yeah.
What's the one level of the OPT model that we don't cross into here at Burn?
Power.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah. Try again. You're close though. One level lower.
It's the strength one.
Maximal strength. Think power is not like power in terms of like lifting weights like a big power lifter, because it's power lifter
That's
and power.
what I thought.
No, power is acceleration. Think about it. Think athletic.
Like athletic.
Plyometrics, jump
Got it.
squats, right?
Okay.
So when you do like a hypertrophy power jumps superset, you're doing like 10 back squats, right, for form failure.
Yeah.
And then you're going right into 20 power jump squats.
Okay.
Talk about like your quads being on fire. That's
Yeah.
a good recipe. That was the San Francisco Giants training protocol, was hypertrophy followed by power. That was like their entire off season, right?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, because they wanted you to gain muscle, because as a pitcher, the more muscle, lower half muscle I gained, the harder I could throw. But they didn't want you to lose your heart rate. They wanted you to stay conditioned, be able to run down first base.
That's so interesting. It's so cool.
I'm glad you're in business though. It's a smart move.
I need to learn both worlds, I feel like, and that's like the best way to do it.
Yeah. So are you passionate at this point 50-50? Are you 80-20 in terms of, because you have this fitness craft, right?
Fitness is
and then
like,
you have this business side of things.
Like, it's my ultimate dream to one day make like a huge fitness corporation.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but it's my dream. Like, I wanna be one of those like CEOs you see on like Instagram or, even TikTok now. Like, just seeing those guys and be like, they have all of these followers, they have these huge like fitness celebrities and even just normal celebrities that they're like using their product or they're using their fitness like amenities in order to further their stuff.
So you have a general direction?
Yeah, I think I have a little direction.
Good.
I don't know how to get there. But
you don't need to know that. Do you feel like you need to know that at this point? Is that part of the reason you're here? Do you feel like you want to get further to that? Do you know?
I just want to build connections.
Okay.
I just want to be able to like call somebody if I need help.
Yeah, man.
If I have any questions. So that's
Cool.
pretty much it.
Okay, good. Well, we have about, let's see, what time is it? 3:28. Okay, we have about till 5, and then my daughter has dance, and I got to get out here to get my dance.
Oh, that's perfectly
So,
fine.
listen, I've been through it all. What you're saying, going from being young and hungry and having a direction, but not really knowing. Do you know at this point, do you know in your heart, do you believe that in 20 years from today, you're going to be that, whatever version? Okay. So you have the belief side of it.
It will happen. I know that for a fact.
All right. Well, I love that attitude. I always knew, it's part of the formula, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's, when you say this to other people, it sometimes can come off as arrogant, and I don't ever say it to other people for that reason.
Yeah.
But between you and I, and you might have a little bit of this too, at 18, I knew I was the man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to happen. I just thought it was in baseball at the time. I thought I was going to go play baseball and like go to the big leagues, and it happened to be in this arena. So I've gone from that to where I am now, and dude, I would love nothing more than to help you jump some of those hurdles that I ran into that sucked.
I would appreciate it.
You know, and so listen, great leaders ask great questions.
Yeah. Right.
So shoot, you ask me anything from top to bottom, I won't hold back, and I also don't pretend to know everything. So if I don't know, I got people who might. And when I want you, I'm buddies with Chris Powell, and he's gonna come here in a few months. And when he does, he's the celebrity trainer. I'm the business trainer.
Okay.
You're gonna have two very different perspectives there. Cool. You kind of blended those things together.
Yeah.
You can have it all. Right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's like one ultimatum or the other. But he's like true celebrity trainer. Like he's 600,000. He did on social media. Yeah. He did Extreme Weight Loss Makeover on ABC for like, I don't know, like 8 years. Did you ever see that show?
I've heard about it. I think I've probably seen clips or something like that, but I've never like sat down and watched an episode.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, just a side note while I was thinking about it. Because he's my celebrity trainer friend. He's such a great guy. You'd really like him. Yeah. Cool. I am not a celebrity. I'm just the business guy, the entrepreneur. You know, we are maybe one day, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you'll see. You'll figure it out.
Well, you know, you have impact. If you have an impact, number one. Yeah. And you obviously need resources to be able to make that impact. Yeah. You kind of got to start there. It's like I'm trying to help people better their lives in not just a like little way, like a significant way.
That's the ultimate goal.
Right.
Is like just helping people not be like obese, overweight. Now technically I'm like 1 point away on the BMI scale for being obese, but like I'm not obese. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you gotta weigh it out, but it's like the ultimate, especially I struggle with like, there are so many people in fitness right now that are very passionate about fixing their bodies and making them like good and applicable and that's not the word, but like strong.
Yep.
And this dream physique that all of these social media platforms are showing these people. But the problem is that there are so many of these people that are so depressed and anxious, and then they scare other people along with anabolical like steroid use too. It scares all these normal people away from joining the gym, which is like Burns, like a great idea because you don't really have any of that there. But like in a normal fitness industry, there's so many people who are just depressed. And you have these guys and like, oh, I don't want to start working out and have extreme body dysmorphia and be depressed even though I'm getting jacked. Like that's what social media advertises. It's like the thing that I want to do is change that completely. But I just don't know. Again.
Okay, well, where do you start?
What's the thing? My roommate actually is a very successful businessman, and he's 19.
Okay.
But he told me that I need to start by building a social media presence, and through that is where I can brand myself in order to become that guy, like that I know I am. So I just gotta actually start.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think you do need to brand yourself. But branding yourself, you need to have the values lined up. You need to have your identity as a brand lined up, and you need to have a message, right? And you got the message part. Yeah. Okay, so you already have this. You already have it, right? It's just called your reputation, and it's just that online, right? So with that comes vulnerability, right? And with that comes people prodding your life, and you don't get to the level that you want to get to unless you are willing to. I think a good way to think about it is like if you live for the cheers, then you'll die by the booze. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're like, hey, I need to get this social media following, and I need to get my likes up, and I need to get all this stuff up, and you go, and that's your number one priority is getting the metrics to start going. Well, then you're going to overshadow the impact. Right, in the message, because the message that you have comes from your heart in a red ocean. I'll explain what that means, but in a red ocean of
ideas.
Well, no, people in this industry who are the people that you described, right? Who are carrying the narrative for this industry.
Yeah.
So you're in the your mindset's in the blue ocean, which means you're going to say things on social media and they're not going to resonate. Because what people want to hear right now, right?
Is in the red ocean.
Is in the red ocean. They want to stay. Here's what the influencers do. They say, hey, when you buy this program, then you get to look like me, right? And that's, like you said, the worst message that you could put out there is, right? So it's like, all right, you know that going in, and then you go work on building your reputation. Like, work on building your reputation. Don't work on building a social media influence.
Okay.
Because you could have a very toxic influence too on accident by following suit of those people because you see them doing things that, you know, get them a couple thousand likes on a photo or whatever.
Well, then what's the best way?
Have you ever seen me with my shirt off online?
No.
Never. Do you think I could get a shit ton of likes if I took my shirt off and
Probably.
I mean, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah.
Right? Let's be honest.
Why would you not?
Well, I don't, because that's not my narrative. That's not my message. Well, my message is that it's not about what's underneath the shirt. It's about what's inside of your head. It's about getting yourself out of this emotional. It's about getting yourself out of the red ocean, right, into the blue ocean. Because over here, there's no opportunity left, right? And like you said, people outside looking in are looking at that like, that's not for me. Yeah. They're getting pushed deeper into that emotional recession. You follow me?
Yeah.
So that's, I think your friend's right, but also you don't want to sell your soul, and I know that you wouldn't, right? But we don't want to build an influence and a following that overshadows like the true value and the true message that's on our heart, you know? Thinking about it that way.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't see me with like doing that type of stuff, right?
Yeah. You let other people do that for you.
And that's what that's what I kind of mean. Yeah, I'd let my members do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We always say results are our resume, right? So these are some of the things that I want you to start thinking about as you're going toward like putting that reputation online with a concerted effort, which is number one. You should totally be doing that. But don't get impatient when it doesn't pop right away.
Okay.
And then start taking selfies with your shirt off because you're a good-looking dude, man. You know, you are a good-looking kid. And it's a compliment. You work hard on your physique and your body. Who are you trying to attract? If you're trying to attract other young males that want to look like you, maybe that's a different story. Those aren't the people that are in the blue ocean.
No, it's the people with the rough headspace. That's it. That's literally all, like, because again, like what you said, like the people who come here, like you don't take off your shirt and like, oh, if you come to Burn Boot Camp, you'll look like me.
Right.
Do you work out at Burn that much?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 times a week, every week. Yep.
I know, like, I think
I like to do compound strength training too, so I'll like pick up some deadlifts and some leg press and stuff like that.
My mom said that Matt doesn't do that, right?
Matt?
He doesn't really work out at Burn that much.
Maybe not as much as he strength trains, but he's in the gym every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the trainers themselves, like my mom's jacked, but like the people, like you said earlier, who come here are your progress, and then I don't know. I feel like what I want to do though, it's like I want to show the progress I'm making as a person, but then also show the progress I'm making through my mental headspace. You know what I mean? I don't know how to show that, and I don't know how to build that reputation as well that will build up to that progress that I can show other people.
I heard Mark Zuckerberg say something one time that I thought really resonated with me. He said, "No one cares what you say until they care what you've built for them or what you've done for them." And so, think about going out and helping one person now.
Okay.
And story that journey. Help one person now. Like who's one person if you just walked up to them and you're like, "Hey, I want to train you for free."
I'm actually doing that right now.
Okay, so
two of my best friends at school
are the people in the bad headspace.
They both were like 240, 220.
Okay.
And both of them, or one of them's really depressed. Okay. And we've been working out together.
Good.
And it's been.
Listen, here's what I would do to pitch him. I'd say, "Hey, listen, I'm going to change your life."
Okay.
Right? You have a tendency, you have depressive tendencies that you've admitted to me already. Me and you, we're going to change your life, and we're going to document it.
Okay.
We're going to document the whole thing.
Like
right?
Video?
And I'm going to, I'll put it right on camera. I'm going to document it. I will train you for free every day, and I will take care of your nutrition. I will make sure that everything is fully taken care of you, and I'll do that anyways because you're my friend.
Yeah.
But I would really like to use this as a starting point for my business or my reputation. Okay. And would you agree to doing that? So this is what I did. This is how I got started. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, it's not, well, see, like, a lot of times you're like, oh, hey, how do I get this reputation out there and how do I build this up for me? But it's really not about you and building your reputation. It's about letting other people build that reputation for you.
Okay.
Right? Like, there's a Kanye West documentary, and I don't know if you see it.
I watched it, yeah.
Jesus, I think it was called?
Genius.
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 Yeah. Genius. Yeah.
Genius?
Yeah. And there was a scene, and he was like, I'm a genius. And there was another person that was like, no, you're not. He goes, you're a genius when other people call you a genius, not when you call yourself a genius. I think that's right.
It's true.
I think that's right. So going out and helping people selflessly. And if the only contingency I ever made on it was, hey, I'm going to help you regardless, but I'd love to document this. And my first documentation, dude, was so brutal. The video was so bad. It was so bad. So I ripped off like a piece of paper. I'm down in Naples, Florida. Okay. I just get released from the San Francisco Giants. Just get my training certification with. At the first one I got was ACE, American Council on Exercise. I got a job at Lifestyle Family Fitness, and I started this little side hustle called Lightning 900. It was like the first version of Burn Boot Camp. Okay. And it was same purpose, same message you have. Yeah. Right. And so what I did is I took a piece of paper and wrote a script on it. I made a video in my apartment on like an old handheld, like crappy Sony camera, and the fan was blowing, right? So like
you're like
the piece of paper is in the bottom of the screen and it's flapping, and I'm looking down and I'm going back and forth, like looking at the paper, and you can see it in the screen flapping, and to direct address the camera, back to paper, direct address the camera, back to paper, and I was cutting scenes in and out of my members at the time of that little Lightning 900 camp and their testimonials. Oh. So I documented all of it. It's still online somewhere. It's on my Devan Kline channel just to see how, and I left it out there because it's ridiculously awful. And I knew that once my influence got big enough, people like you would look up to it, they'd admire it, and they'd want to sit down and say, hey, how the heck did you build this thing?
Yeah.
So it's like, here's how. Like, people see all the shiny videos and the hundreds and hundreds of gyms and members and all that, the big brand and the accolades, but they don't see that initial video where it was the same thing, bro, from day one. Day one, the very same message. It's Karen, and it's, let's see, I'll remember a few of their names. It's Teresa, and it's Anna, and it's Adele, and they're all in there. They're all my members. Some of them are members at the Naples Burn Boot Camp still, by the way.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so we're outside slinging tires and throwing weights, and I just brought a bunch of people together, women, on a basketball court, and just started running camp. Started like a player to a coach. I was like, y'all are teammates. I'm your coach. The same thing I asked you to do to, what's your friend's name?
Nate,
same thing with these, it was like 20 women.
Okay.
I was like, we're doing this together. I'm going to change your life. You guys are all paying me for personal training. I'm going to make it way cheaper, and I'm going to put you guys all in one group, and we are going to do this thing together.
Cool.
Right? So you don't need to be perfect to start. Just start. Grab Nate. Nate, dude, we're doing a video. It's going to be bad, but we're doing it.
He's a good dude, too. He'll totally do it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He'll totally do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no plan. Like, I didn't have a business plan. I've never written a business plan.
It's probably the more successful businessmen just kind of have an idea and do it. That's what Elon Musk said. Yeah. So
I don't want to sit around writing a business plan. We have them now that we're an institution. It's a 2-page business plan called the Vision Traction Organizer. Yeah. But I'm not building that anymore.
You hire people to do that for you.
Yes.
That's what CEOs do.
Well, that's what CEOs earn.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't just get there. I did all of it myself.
Yeah.
Before, because I always have had the philosophy that I need to know more about my business than anybody else. I never want anyone else to know more about my business than I do. So I can go upstairs and use MindBody, and I can sign somebody up on a membership. I can use our CRM, our LoopSpark, and I can set up automations, or I can build the Vision Traction Organizer for the next 10 years and everything in between. And that's the beauty of playing the long game, right? Mm-hmm. Is like, if you go, I didn't go into this being like, hey, dude, I'm going to make a ton of money. I went into this saying, or I didn't go into this saying, hey, I was going to be a celebrity. I went into this saying, I'm going to help Susie.
That's why I just
and then I'm help Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just start there. Start there. You're gonna see everything out there, and you're gonna see people's 20, 30, 10-year journey, and then it takes people like me and others that I'm sure you're networking with to be like, dude, those that's just like, that's just like the snapshot at the finish line, like they didn't even see the training that was happening for 10 years before that and the thousands of camps, and so.
It's so cool to think about. It's like where I'm gonna be in 20 years, like how successful I will be. I don't know. It's just something I think about every now and then.
Well, you have to have that, right? You have to have that level of how do you say swagger, confidence, air, whatever it is. You have to have that, right? And as long as you mix that with humility along the way, and you say, hey, I know I'm going to be successful because I add so much value to so many people's lives that it's just going to be undeniable. Like I will undeniably be successful, even if I had the hardest road to like recognition ever, and no one ever wants to give it to me. And every time I do something great, other people next to me, they're doing great stuff at my same level. I'm not getting the recognition, right? It's like, keep going. You don't need that. It's not. You're not in it for the trophies. You're not in it for the recognition. That stuff just comes as a byproduct of other people telling other people that. And so the way I hire people in the organization is even that way. I don't look at someone because they have a position and be like, hey, you're the next up. I listen to what my teammates are saying about their other teammates, and they just get to inform me on who's next up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So it's almost like be so damn good that nobody can deny how good you are.
Okay.
Which takes time, effort, and it takes results, right? So, how old are you?
I'm 18.
18, and you're going to school. You'll start this during school, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the guy Nate, I met him at school. So it's like we just use the Liberty Athletic Complex to do our stuff. So it's like, or like, whenever he'll come down, he came down and visit me. And so me, Nate, my friend Evan, will just go to the gym and, we tell each other, we have a group chat on our phone and we're like, we're going to be the most jacked dudes at Liberty. By the time we're seniors at college, like, it's like, we talked about this one time. It was, because he does jujitsu. That's where he kind of started. And we talk about all the time how one day when we're older, like juniors, seniors in college, we want to be able to start different things at Liberty in order to bring about awareness for things like jiu-jitsu, or for me, mental and physical health, or all this kind of stuff. So like I was talking to my roommate again, and I had the idea where once I get my CPT, I'm just going to print like 200 pieces of paper with like my contact information and like a QR code for people to scan. I'm just going to hang it everywhere around campus. Like my friend Levi, he started this whole Deion Sanders for head coach at Liberty football thing. He got it on the news and that kind of stuff. But he printed off hundreds and hundreds of papers in order to hang all over the Liberty campus, and got over 5,000 signatures on like the thing. So it's like, if he can do that with Deion Sanders, there are plenty of people who need a fitness coach who is a fellow student as them. Why would they not want to take advantage of that? Especially because I'll charge so little because I'm just starting. But also trying to like get jobs at like fitness, like once I have my license, I can work anywhere. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's definitely being able to have a marketing game plan in the serviceable market area that you have now, driving people to a job where you learn the craft, you learn sales, like you learn how to do this craft, right? Because you're going to have the overarching business piece of it if, business is the ultimate long run. I know that you're 18, right? Yeah. So if it is the ultimate long run and you get into this and you start to get into business, you're going to have to get into accounting, P&Ls, you'll have to get into like a layer of legal. Like you'll get into all of that stuff, right? Which will sit like a layer above the gym industry itself. Yeah. So if you're going into work for somebody, this is what I did. I tend to try not to give advice rather than just experience share on what I did.
Yeah.
And this is what I did. I didn't have any. I had business sense. I was always an entrepreneur. Like I just had that in my DNA. Like when I was a kid, I wasn't like getting in trouble with my friends. I was like running a snow shoveling franchise in my neighborhood, right? And making my friends shovel the driveways as I went and did the sales, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of always had that entrepreneurial spirit. I did the same thing, like flipping cars from when I was 16 to 19. And that taught me a lot about just the real world practicality of being able to be an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Yeah.
And it's all about sales, and it's all about communication. Sales first, and then once you start making sales, then it's about leadership, and that's business. Like that's it. And so I went into lifestyle family fitness, and I learned so much. Like I actually got together with a bodybuilder friend of mine. His name is Pete Friddy, and he's still down in Naples now. He actually owns an Anytime Fitness right next to our burn down there.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and so he was the guy that like put me on to all of the how to eat. He put me onto nutrition. I learned a little bit of that. Strength and conditioning in college and then with the Giants. But I wasn't really focused on that as much. I was just trying to gain weight. That's all I was trying to do, throw the ball harder. But then I met Pete and he started teaching me how to eat, what time to eat, like just the craft of nutrition, right? So I learned that there, like at a high level. There was another guy that was a bodybuilder there who taught me things at like a high level. And then I was on the floor and I just learned how to sell in that setting. Right? I learned how to sell, and then I learned how when I did make a sale, right? I always thought about it as like, I'm going to change this person's life. Like, if you come and work with me, I'm going to change your life. And then I would take them out on the floor or the showcase, whatever. The personal training always gets like a roped off area inside of any gym. Well, I used that stage. It was like a stage for me.
Yeah.
I brought people in there, and I just put on a show. You know, like, all right, here we go, let's go, get fired up today. You know, like, and I would get everybody in the gym who are all working out, they're all peeping me. Yep, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I saw you looking at me. I know you want to come over here and do this with us. I was like, hey, we can make it cheaper. How do you think? We let him in, make it a little cheaper. You know, just I would have this showmanship, right? And that's what I mean by sales. Not like the organization that I was working for taught me how to not do sales.
Okay.
How to sit down with somebody and be like, hey, listen, you're pretty bad. Yeah, your biometrics are way off the charts. 52% body fat. You're likely going to die if you don't sign this $3,000 contract with me and sign your life away right here. I know you can't afford even a session right now, but here's this. And that's the way they would teach you to sell, and it just seems so counterintuitive to me.
Why would you do that?
Well, because that's the industry, man. Why do you think if the first like 2,000 posts that I ever made, no one listened to what I was saying, because it was so counterintuitive to the industry. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing on social media. People are they want the quick, fast thing. They want people to tell them this is quick and this is fast. It's not quick and it's not fast. And people don't want to hear that. So that was my message. It's like, hey, this is going to take really long. It's going to be really hard. Like, this was my sales pitch, rather than being like, hey, change your life right now, sign this contract, or you're going to die. I would say this is going to be really hard. It's going to be really long. There's going to be days you hate me. There's going to be days you don't want to show up here. But remember who needs you. You just told me that you have 3 kids at home that is watching their mother go up the stairs and get out of breath, and they're 8 and under. So it's your decision on what trajectory that you want to take your life. But I want you to know that I will do everything in my power as long as you want it. I can't want it more than you want it, but as long as you meet me halfway, I will do everything in my power. We will change your life, and if you're dedicated to this and you're dedicated to your children, we're going to go to the next level. We're going to take your life to the next level. So that would be my way of selling, right? Okay. Is to say, hey, like, just genuinely tell them how hard it's going to be, right? Why do people come to us?
Well, because they get to a point where they feel so bad about themselves, to where then they try and fix it. Most of the time they try and fix it on their own, but then they fail. They go back to their old habits, and then they finally get to a point and they're like, I need someone to help me do this. But then it gets to the point, like you just said, like, pay all this money and we'll fix it like this, but it's not true.
Right.
And then they end up paying all that money, And then what do? They stop because these trainers, they don't actually care about, they just care about all the money.
Yeah.
They don't care about the actual person. They just want the paycheck.
Yes.
And that's just, it's kind of fucked up.
It is, and it's going to take you a while to break that mold. So that's what I'm saying. Is be prepared for that. I've gone through that battle, right? And listen, like, I'm so humbled that we have I never thought I would have. I knew I was going to be the guy. I didn't think at 35 years old we'd have this. It was a lot, you know, and like I'm blessed by it. But it was pulling. It's like swimming upstream the whole time.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm the only one with that narrative at scale. Everybody else, like, look at the top 20.
Are there even any other? I've never seen another fitness company that tells people it's for the long haul.
No.
There just aren't any.
No. I mean, and there was a certain point. That's why we popped, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a long time. You know, think about maybe this conceptually. You'll overestimate what you can do in a year, and you'll drastically underestimate what you can do in 10. So if you're consistent, you're gonna ask anyone in this office, like ask your mom even, like I set ridiculous 1-year goals, like outlandish ones almost, to where it's like, all right, here's Devan setting these like unrealistic goals again, you know, but it's like, okay, I'll take that, but like I'm gonna work my butt off to reach those goals every year. I'll fall short, but over 10 years, if I do that every year, I shoot for the stars and fall in the clouds rather than shooting for clouds, fall in the cement, right? So now I get an opportunity to repeat that consistently for 10 years over. Now people are finally starting to listen.
Got it.
You know, which will pave the way for guys like you, for sure.
I hope so.
It should, if you do it the right way. If you if you follow suit, right?
Yeah.
If you follow that narrative and make it wider, because like, think about burn as like this. You have like all of this flock of birds kind of traveling in one direction, right? And then one of them just breaks off and goes into the other direction.
Yeah.
It is lonely for a while until the other birds, you know, start to find that flight path better. And that's any disruptor or anybody. And then there's disruption that happens within the disruption, right? So it's like you take this narrative. I mean, you're working with, I'll just pontificate for a moment just because I think it's an interesting way to think about it. If you took a narrative like what you're saying, like, I want to help people that are struggling with the mental battle, and you applied that to people like Nate, nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody is built, like Bird Boot Camp is built for women, right? Are we family oriented? Of course we are.
Yeah.
Right? But we are built originally for women.
Yeah.
It's Charlotte's Fit Community of Moms was the first tagline. You're probably like this big when that happened. How old were you when that happened?
I think it was like,
this is 10 years ago, so you had to be 8 years
8,
old.
Yeah, something crazy.
You were a stud back then too, though.
I was a little fat kid playing flag football.
Your mom is always bragged on you, and now I can see why. You're a sharp young guy.
Oh, well, it took me a little bit to get there.
Yeah, well, you're not near where you will be when you're 30, as long as you stay focused on it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not disrespect to say you're young and naive. You still are. You haven't gone through the life experiences yet. You know, when I was naive up until like I was 20. We were just talking about this. 27, 28, you know? Like, you just haven't had that life experience yet, but you start to get it, and you start to let it shape your character, right?
Yeah.
So just start doing things that, like, follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. Whatever's on your heart, follow that, because that's going to be uniquely you.
Okay.
If you're looking at I know you're not doing this, but this is what everybody else does. They look at social media, they follow someone else.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a leader or a follower, right?
Yeah.
Leaders have mentors. Followers have leaders. So 1 to maybe 2 mentors that you can get real deep with.
Okay.
People that you don't. They could be people you don't know. They could also be somebody that you do know. For me, it was because you start to get into going to listening to everybody. You listen to Gary Vee and Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and all these like guys I'm sure you know of.
Yeah.
Like Ed Milet, like all these like great messages, but if you listen to them all, they're conflicting in ways, right? Yeah. And then, you know, it's like you have too many cooks in the kitchen. Now it's like, what the hell pick your people.
Okay.
Who's the person that if you had their life right now, like who is that, right? Like there's the Planet Fitness people, there's the Anytime people, there's the big celebrity fitness trainers, there's, just look across the spectrum of somebody that say, I would want to be mentored by that person. If I took my personality, the best things I like about what they have done and the best things I like about what somebody else has done, and you take two verticals, so like fitness and business, and you cross those things over together, mix in your own, I mean, that's the formula, right? For me, it was Tony Robbins and honestly, Gary Vee. I've learned so much from listening to him on marketing.
Yeah.
To the point now where I don't need to anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just what he says works.
I mean, yeah.
And it's not the tactical stuff; it's the philosophical stuff, right? Giving things away for free. Right. Like,
if someone gives me something for free, I'm coming back.
Right.
I'm broke, bro. Like I need free stuff is great.
Right. Think about that from like a mentorship lens, though, right? Like you want to follow. If it's somebody in person, a mentor isn't somebody you have to pay. A mentor is somebody that sees something in you that they saw in themselves and had identified that and would feel bad about themselves if they didn't use that identification or that observation to help that other person maximize their life.
Okay.
And so, for what it's worth, because I know you get on YouTube and social media and go down these rabbit holes and all that stuff, and I know it's our generation, right? I'm at like the top end of that generation where, my first text message was sent in like my junior year of high school. Like that's when texting was like a big thing, right? So, and that I'm like the upper. I think the oldest millennial is like 38 or 7 or something like that. So, we all, and then I grew up on social media for the rest. Do you remember AIM?
I don't even know what that is.
Man, I feel old. I was slinging CDs in junior high, man. You know what CDs are, don't you?
I know what a CD is.
Yeah, I was listening to the junior high girls warm-up music.
Oh my Lord.
And then cutting CDs and selling them for $5.
I just go on Spotify, man. That's all I have to do.
Yeah. Which gives you a great opportunity, though, right? Because even when I started Burn, we had Facebook, and this was 2012. So when you were 8, 9, we had Facebook. Facebook had there was no such thing as live video. There was no such thing as video on Facebook at the time, just pictures. And so I communicated that message through that vertical, social media. Our whole organization was birthed and continues to be, and continues to grow on the back of social media.
Social media is literally marketing now.
It is.
There's no other way.
Well, I would argue that everything works. But social media, like you're about to go put QR codes up and hang them around town. That's not social media.
That's true.
That's going to work. So it's like social media isn't everything. Social media is just where currently now the most attention is at.
Okay.
Right? That's where people spend their times.
Yeah.
Like they're going to walk by your QR codes with their phone in their hand that can scan it doing this. Right? So it's like, go knock on doors. I would even walk around campus. Well, I would first have a brand.
Okay.
At least give yourself, I had Lightning 900. What did that mean? It meant we were going to work out really hard. That's all it meant at the time. There was no other brand around it, but you have to talk to someone.
Okay.
Try not to talk to everyone. Who's the person that you really want to, is that person Nate? Is it professors? It could very well be that. You know what I mean? You just figure out what your niche is going to be. Here's an example, right? So you go by, you've seen this before, right? Because you're a fitness guy, you're constantly looking out, you're a business guy too, right? So you're constantly probably keeping your head up around town looking for different things. You see the facilities that, I won't name any names, but you see the ones that usually have their stickers on the outside of their windows, and it offers the different things. It's like boxing, and then yoga, and then personal training, and then Zumba, and then the next sign is for lease, because they go out of business. Because they don't have a focus. You can't be everything to everyone, which is why we started off as Charlotte's Fit Community of Moms and served the needs of the mothers in our community to a T. So when our messaging went out, hey, free child watch. That's it, right? That was the first thing I would say, because who does that speak to?
Moms.
Who don't have enough money, usually, to take their kid for an hour to a babysitter, or the availability to take their kid for an hour to the babysitter so they can work out, unless they have family in the area. Usually when they do have family in the area, those people were also working, which left them in the same place. So you see how much I know about my person I'm trying to go after? Then you just give us, it's very easy, right? It's exercising your business, your marketing brain. one message that's reverse engineered. Okay, what would Nate say that the biggest, if he were to say what his biggest reason for training with you is, what would that be?
The first thing, I knew of him before I went in school, but then when I saw him, it was kind of cool, but at the same time, like, it kind of boosted my ego a little bit. But one of the first things that people noticed about me was that I was jacked as a freshman. They were like, oh my gosh, like, he's huge and he's only 18. And it goes to show the work that I put in, but at the same time, like, that was one of the first things he ever said to me was, you are jacked. And he was like, and he's into jiu-jitsu, and he was like, well, I want to get bigger and stronger because he's really good at it. But he's like, there are certain times in my matches where the guy is stronger than me and I can't push him off on top of me. And so he's like, I want to get stronger so that I can be more successful in this jiu-jitsu. It's a little different for him, but like...
Why do you think he wants to be more successful in jiu-jitsu?
Because he's a very driven... People are always... They find something they're passionate about, and they don't stop until they accomplish that goal.
So how does he feel when he accomplishes a goal?
He probably feels...
That specific goal. How would he feel if he accomplished that specific goal?
On top of the world.
What does that mean? Translate that for me into an emotion. Excited, enthused,
he would
unstoppable?
Find purpose.
Okay. That's where you need to get to.
Mm.
What's the purpose of the audience that you're trying to reach?
Okay.
Right? You see how I walked you 3 steps deeper?
Yeah.
There's the three why rule. Why? Why? Just ask why, and you'll get somebody to tell you, right? And even further, I could keep going, but you'd say Nate wants to perform at the highest level in jiu-jitsu so that he could feel on top of the world. He could feel empowered, confident, strong.
Yeah.
Because then that will make the people in his life look up to him more that he loves the most.
Yeah.
Right? Every person's motivation always leads back right down to that big L word, that love word. And it's always immediate family members, right?
Yeah.
So you have to, and that's not gonna be your marketing message, right? Your marketing message is, hey, do jiu-jitsu, want to not feel like a weakling when people are laying on top of you and want to push them off, then you target all of those people that are just like Nate that would, feel that confidence, whose loved ones would then see them confident. Why do you think your mom loves Burn Boot Camp so much?
I have no idea.
Because look how confident she's become.
I guess that is true. Yeah.
She's become really, really confident, hadn't she?
She has.
She's always been that way.
It's annoying, though.
And that rubs off on you.
Yeah, it
100%. 100%. And your father, too. I know your dad, too.
Yeah.
But isn't it true?
It is true.
Right? And so it all is going to, if you're in my world, which is the blue ocean world, okay, then you're going to be talking to people who need to hear your message,
okay,
that the rest of the industry is going to look down on you or maybe not think you're as superior as they are from a fitness standpoint because you're targeting what they would call overweight people or unathletic people or deconditioned people.
Yeah.
I call it a deconditioned person. To me, is somebody that has not got conditioned yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone can get to that point.
Exactly. So they're not fat. They're not overweight. Right? They're not miserable. They are somebody who has a desire to gain more confidence in their life. The worst thing that we could tell them is when they come to us saying, "Hey, I need your help," is you're okay just the way you are. Okay?
I hate that.
Well, that's where somebody like our message could go wrong.
Okay.
And it does go wrong there, right? You got to think about it really deeply here because you have the 85% of the industry that's going to be, hey, do what I do and look like me, right? You're going to have the other 15% of the industry that's not going to say that, but they're going to say, hey, they're going to say, hey, you're okay just the way you are. Just move your body. That's going to be the majority of the rest of that 15%. Here's what I say. You're not okay the way you are. That is why you're here. And I care about you so much that we're going to make you fall back in love with yourself so that you can be the most confident you've ever been, get back to your fighting weight and beyond, and I will be unstoppable in like that pursuit with you. and I'm on your side and I got you. But it's bad. It's
Yeah.
bad. 52% body fat is not good. It's, it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
And so I tell people what they need to hear from a place of truth, from a place of love, and in a place of, from, if you followed my career, remarkable consistency, right? Every single message, every time is the same way. So that's how I've built the company, you know.
Yeah.
And then you're just multiplying. You're multiplying relationships from there, from that point on, and you're doing the same thing over and over and over with the new people you meet.
I mean, now that you mentioned it, it's actually kind of funny because junior year of high school, I weighed like 210 pounds, somewhere close like that. I was a pretty chubby kid, and my mom, that's when all of her confidence started building up, like you said, and she would always tell me and my older sister that, like, we need to get more in shape. My mom would look at me and be like, you love sports so much, but you are not doing anything in order to be better at your sport. Sometimes she would be like, you're a little chubby, but ultimately it wasn't to like bring me down, to discourage. Right. She was just telling me what I needed to hear, and then it worked. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
But
what you just said right there, that's your marketing pitch. That's your pitch. Why don't try to manufacture a pitch? That's it. You just gave it to me. Hey, if you don't want to be the chubby kid anymore and you want to be the jacked guy.
Yeah.
Right? Start there. Start somewhere. Maybe that's not it, but start somewhere that you're familiar with.
Okay.
Right? Because you can't transfer energy that you don't feel, that you've never had before. Mm-hmm. You can't. You can't coach me. If you've never played basketball in the NBA, you couldn't go walk into the gym and coach somebody.
Not at all.
You couldn't even speak about the plays, right? Because we've never experienced. I couldn't either, because we've never experienced that before.
Okay.
So we're not able to talk about or transfer or understand or be able to teach other people things that we don't understand or that haven't influenced us or that we don't know. So you have to start from and that's what authenticity is too, by the way.
Okay.
It's like, you know what that word is?
Yeah.
What is that word?
It's like genuine relationships.
Genuinely be yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the basis of forming relationships. And so if you're just genuine, and if you like it, because if your job is to genuinely form relationships, then you must talk about yourself.
Okay.
Right? And so you must take what you've experienced and be able to transfer that to other people. So it doesn't have to be direct experience, based on you, by the way, because I was like you, right? I was a baseball player who had a lot of muscle and who was really athletic, and I never really suffered from any mental or emotional health in my later teen years. Mm-hmm. Well, some of that stuff happened when I was a kid, but I got into like a young adult, and I was pretty mentally sound. Baseball does that to you, you know, because it's a hard game.
It is a hard game.
It's a hard game.
I didn't appreciate. I thought baseball was really stupid, and then I watched the World Series a couple times, and I was like, this sucks. Like, I would hate to play all the time.
It's a hard game.
It's like hockey, man.
Yeah.
Both of those games.
It's a hard game. And so, you know, we had to train. We had to be mentally tough, or there's no way you even play at the next level. Yeah. Right? So, when I was playing, this was both in college ball and professional ball. In the summers and during college, we'd go play at different leagues around the country, and we always stay with host families. Same thing in professional leagues. When you go to the minor leagues, AA, single A, AAA, Knights here, AAA here in Charlotte, to give you context. But all those guys, I don't think they do it in AAA, but Kannapolis Cannonballers are another one that are around here. Okay. I played in this league, and all of those single A teams are all based like host families. So you'd go live with somebody else, right? Huh. Right? You wouldn't go like rent an apartment for 3 months, like sign a lease or anything like that, you know. But you weren't funded by the school, right? So these teams would fund you. So I got into these houses that I stayed with, and I saw what you're seeing with Nate, how unhappy some of my host families were, right? And how lethargic, right? I think was a word that used to come to my mind a lot. Just no energy, like a lack of energy. Not educated on nutrition at all.
No one is.
Right? Like at all. Like I'm a professional athlete, and one of my host mom was trying to feed me Fruity Pebbles for breakfast in the morning. I'm like, and I just had to, out of need for me to be able to help her, to help myself get to the next level, I'm trying to eat oatmeal and egg whites with some egg yolks and some fruit in the morning to get myself going. So through that, I taught nutrition, and I started seeing changes. Okay. And I started taking, her name was Nicole, I started taking Nicole to the gym. This was the first time when I was like, man, I see what normal American problems are, the blue ocean we keep talking about. Mm-hmm. It's not how I grew up. Like, I grew up in alcohol abuse, drug abuse, physical violence, cops in and out of my house. Like, that was my world. I knew no different, right? It's just me growing up. Same way you perceived your life growing up. It's like you're in your world, whatever that world is. You later in life learn whether it was a good one or not. Yeah. And so obviously your parents are amazing human beings, and I love them to death. I had so much fun with them in Punta Cana, by the way. We tore it up. It was great. It was great.
I don't know how Pastor Matt acted, but
yeah.
I'm sure my mom was great.
We have a friend, Rob. He's our vice president of franchise development. Jolene, her husband, and this is one of the most hilarious individuals that I've ever met in my life. He should totally be like a stand-up comic. And he told your dad one of the most vulgar stories. Like, it was super vulgar, and he didn't hold back at all. And Pastor Matt, I'm just like, how is he gonna take it? Like, I'm watching it, and he's like, dude, I don't care. He's like, people do this to me all the time. He's like, I don't care. But it was.
I'm probably one of those people he's talking about.
Yeah. He was like, that's the one thing that's like drives me nuts. It's like, I don't like. I don't need to throw holy water on you or anything because you said a few F words, but anyways, it was super fun. Where was I at again, by the way?
Punta Cana?
No, I remember that. I was trying to tell you something.
Your own world. You're talking about like.
Oh yeah. So I basically got the experience, the seed experience for Burn Boot Camp by being in someone else's household and witnessing it and training them. Right? I was like, oh my goodness. This was after the fact. I didn't realize it in the moment. But after the fact, I was flying home. I got released from the Giants. I was flying home back to Naples, Florida to meet up Morgan, my wife, the CEO. I was writing in a notebook. I still have it. It's a purple notebook. Like, what am I going to do next? Like, I knew I was going to hang up my cleats.
Yeah.
I realized at that point in time, I didn't have enough skill to be the best, to have the opportunity to be the best in the world. And that was my non-negotiable. It's like, whatever I choose for my life, where I pour like 85% of my life into this, I want at least the opportunity, given I control what I can control, to be among the greats.
Okay.
Right? And I didn't really know I was going into fitness yet, honestly. I knew I was going to be a businessman of some. So anyways, I realized I kind of had that aha moment on the way back, right? I was like, man, I know fitness, I know nutrition. I just was helping these people for the last few years. I've got something here, right? And then 8 months later is when I started the Lightning 900 thing, right? So my point is, closing this loop for you, is that I got the experience that I was transferring to those women in my early concept through somebody else's journey that I was witnessing. So it wasn't just, because Devan wasn't a mom who had 3 kids with a C-section scar who was struggling emotionally with postpartum depression. There was no way that I was going to relate to that because it's physically impossible. I couldn't relate to that. But I used that first experience to relate to people who were lethargic, who wanted a happier life, who wanted to maximize, their quality of life, right? Yeah. And then I started training other people, and then I started running into problems that I didn't know how to solve. Okay. At one point, I was like, post what depression? Like, what does that even mean?
And then you would go home and Google it, and then figure it out.
Exactly. And that's how focus meetings were born. Our focus meetings that we have. That was literally how they were born. Was just figuring out problems over time, learning that humans have a collective 22 problems, and then being able to bucket those problems into a system so that my team now, because you're building a business, right? Can't be you, or else you have a really high-paying job. If it's just you don't have a business, right? And then I taught my team how to do focus meetings, and I taught them how to triage people's the life issues that they were dealing with. So my point in saying that was you don't have to use your experience verbatim, but you have to have an experience to use that you can draw from that has to be really deep and emotionally attached for you. That's the key.
Okay.
Maybe it's Nate. Maybe it's your journey. But I think that's where you really start.
Do you think...
Then again, go ahead. After I'll say one last thing is, you don't need to have really anything I'm saying figured out at all to just go run through a wall with your head first, and then sometimes you're going to run into the studs, and then you're going to recall the conversations that we're having, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. That probably shouldn't have ran that direction. You know?
Do you think I should sit down and just write, just like one night, just like sit down and just write down my core beliefs and like who I am as a person, and then tie those to different things that have happened in my life in order to find some sort of trajectory? Do you think that would work?
I know that would work. Will that work for you? I don't know. I think I would maybe suggest taking it one layer higher and writing down. This is a good thought process to have, though. What you're talking about, it's like that's how you sort out your problems, is by writing. You don't do it by thinking. If you can imagine like a water faucet, right? Thinking is just like turning the faucet on with no sink underneath it, and it just floods the whole house. Yeah. Right? Turn the faucet on with a sink underneath it, captures all the water, and that's writing. Yeah. Okay, so I want you to write. That's a great, like, just get into the habit of writing. Okay. Put a question at the top of the paper, and that's where all the answers are going to lie, just in the question that you're asking. And then give yourself 2 hours, 3 hours uninterrupted, where you can get into that. I don't know if you've ever felt this. Have you ever connected with the muse, with the get in that zone where you're just like either studying or writing a paper, just like, dude, you're in it. Get there and just go. Okay. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. Because you're already thinking about core values, and you're talking about core value mapping, right? That's the principle. So you're going to map your personal core values to a potential business core value. Okay. Right? That's core value mapping. So yes, go do that, but like don't have any handcuffs on. Okay. Right? Like just let your imagination run wild, and it's sometimes crazy some things that you'll come up with. I'll show you. Next time we talk, I'll make sure I have my early notebook. Cool. And let you study it a little bit. It's interesting. I haven't actually broken it out in a while. It's got like how I was brainstorming names and what the initial lists for the people, the joint ventures that I was going to target, and the door hangers I was going to put up, and all the we didn't have QR codes yet, but you know. All the things. Yeah, but.
QR codes are kind of nice.
No, they're super nice. They went away for a while. Did you know that?
I did not know
Oh,
that.
yeah. They were hardcore here, and then they went away for a while. Oh. And then all the technology, because they were making you download apps to scan the QR code. Mm. And then all the native technology in Samsung and iOS and Android started building the QR code reader into the camera. Brought them right back.
It's literally perfect. It's amazing.
You can, totally do that.
I'll probably do that and then set it up to... Like, when I make my QR code, should I link it to like an Instagram page, or should I link it to like a contact information for myself?
What do you think?
I don't know.
What's your goal?
Widespread, people know.
What are you putting? Your message going to have a piece of contact information? Yes. And you want these people to train with you and pay you? Yes. And why would they? They would go to your Instagram to eventually go to a contact form anyway. Okay. Right? Yeah. Because they're not, unless they just slide in your DMs, which then you can't control. Yeah. Right? So you're going to want to control your pipeline. Okay. So however many think about a pipeline, right? Okay. You talk me through a pipeline. I know you know what a pipeline is. What's the top of the funnel?
Well, the top of the funnel is where all of the water comes in, right? Okay. So that's where all of the traction, everyone who wants to talk to me, they're all coming in. Mm-hmm. And then you have to separate it. But like, if I give people my phone number, then there's also the risk of like random people just messing with my phone number.
Do you know how many random people called my phone in the last 24 hours?
I have no idea.
Isaiah, how many times does this thing go off? I think it's already gone off 3 times since you. If you want to be a celebrity, you can't protect your privacy. Okay, that's number one. Okay. Well, to a degree, you can, but like, just get ready for. Don't you want that?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of true.
Yeah. You don't have, you don't manufacture problems, bro. Right? You just get it out there. Like, you should be happy to talk to anyone that wants to call you. Yeah. You know.
So I should link the QR code
your car keys might just be coming up missing or something. Your friend's playing a trick on you. Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
It's all part of the process. So I mean, I could create a contact information with my name on it and then like my email, and then I could put like a little bio in there with different handles of social media. Or on the actual flyer, I could put social media, so if someone doesn't want to contact me directly, they can look at who I am as a person first. So I should probably build up a social media presence even though no one's actually looking at it right now.
Well,
So then when the people look at it, the traction will flow eventually.
how many
just
followers
not
do you
right
have right now?
Like 100?
So that's 100 souls and 100 human beings. What are you dissing them for?
That's a good point. Should I
Just start making for them.
should I combine both of them and just do my main Instagram?
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah.
I have like 1,200 followers on my main one. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
You don't need multiple accounts yet.
Okay.
You're not famous yet.
Okay.
Okay. Centralize your funnel. Make it simple.
Okay.
Complexity is the enemy of execution.
Okay.
The more complex you make your funnel, the more inefficient it's going to be.
Okay.
All right. So I wanted to ask you the questions to hear your thought process. Would you like me to give you like a little picture of how I might do it? Okay.
Yeah.
So how I might do it is I'd go set up like a quick landing page. Okay.
Okay.
Because the top, let me break this down. So there's 3 steps in the funnel. There's top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. Put it that way. Top of funnel is all your outbound marketing. All of your flyers, all of your cold calls, all of your Instagram, LinkedIn, QR codes, you talking to people, everything is outgoing, right?
Okay.
Where are all those people going to go? One spot. You need one central place where they go.
Okay.
That's middle funnel. So that way everybody that you bring into the top they're all coming to your contact form. Okay? Where I would put a name and a phone number and an email. Those would be the 3 things that I would capture.
Okay.
You can go to like ClickFunnels or, anywhere nowadays, like Squarespace,
Okay.
things like that just have easy, quick landing pages.com, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And your message, all right, your core message on that page must match top of the funnel core message,
Okay.
right? So if you're going around and this is why I said, hey, you probably need to have a direction of who you're trying to serve, at least initially, and see if that works or not. Let's just say it's you talk to a professor, just for an example. Okay. Professor likely is not your ideal clientele.
No, not
okay.
at all.
So let's just say you are talking to a professor though.
Okay.
And they fit the description of everything that you have in your heart and your head. And you're like, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Like, your schedule ain't full yet, is it? It's not full yet, is it?
Not even close.
So why you're not going to turn away customers until your schedule's full, right?
Yeah.
So what if they come to you and you tell them what you do, and then they go to a landing page and it's some, young 19-year-old with his bicep doing that, and this guy's like, deconditioned, he's 100 pounds deconditioned.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to land. It's not going to be a congruent message from top of funnel to middle funnel.
Okay.
Have you ever been on like Instagram and you've got a shopping thing, or like you've been on Facebook or wherever, or the internet in general, and you just click an ad and then you go to a page and it's like, I'm not going to buy that thing because that page is awful.
Yeah.
What you're really seeing is an incongruency from the ad and what it promised you, and they didn't follow through with the marketing promise underneath.
Okay.
So simple top of funnel message, simple middle funnel contact form, okay, and then your last one is closing that person, right? Those are so turning them into one of your clients.
Okay.
So these are the 3 steps in the process that you want to have, and then you want to fill all your marketing strategy fills top of funnel, okay? Your nourishment strategy keeps the people that are on your contact form, right? You're gonna have contact form. Do you know where that contact form is gonna link out to?
Where?
This is where business starts to come in. Now you're gonna have expenses.
Okay.
Because you got to pay $30 a month for constant contact or an email platform, right? That intakes those, and then you could do it that. I would suggest doing it that way because they have reporting and they have it's just organized and it's $30 a month.
Okay.
Or you could just send them straight to your email, right? Which would cost you nothing. You could get started that way, and I probably would have got started that way if I were you.
Okay.
It's just no money until I got money, and then that's one of the first things I'm investing in is flipping that so that now I have organized reporting. I can send out auto drip campaigns. I can segment my lists into, hey, this person I talk to them, but so they move down the funnel, and this person's still in the middle of the funnel.
Okay.
That's what I mean by nourishment strategy.
Okay.
Let's get a little bit up there, a little bit more complex, but still not too complex,
Yeah.
right? And then bottom of the funnel is you. When those people come through, like they're human, and they're not okay, right? And that's why they came. That's why they're on your contact form, because something inside of them says, hey, I'm not okay. I need to go do something about this, and I believe in this guy's message, and I'm going to see what he's all about. So you have to fulfill your marketing promise down the funnel, and that stops with you,
Okay.
right? So if you say, hey, I'll help you write this, like use some quick language, right? Hey, I'm going to help you right now, okay? And then it takes you 48 hours to call somebody back. That's not right now. Whatever you say,
As soon as it happens, as quickly as I can get there.
on it.
Okay.
Hey, I saw your contact form come through. Listen, I'm so enthused and passionate to help you. Can we meet today or tomorrow?
Okay.
Or can we meet at 2 p.m. or 4 p.m.? Right?
Yeah.
Not can we meet, because then they say no. Where can we meet? That's another good one on campus. I'd love to meet you on campus. Where can we meet?
Okay.
Get a feel for each other, make sure it's the right fit.
Okay.
Right? Taking care of those people. That's really what that is.
Okay.
And that's where you're going to learn the game. That's where you're going to learn sales.
Okay.
You're going to really learn sales. And what I used to do is keep a log of what words that I would say that would work and words that I'd say that didn't work.
Okay.
And I'd start to finesse my sales game based on that.
Should I, one thing I'm thinking about is the Liberty itself, they hire personal trainers, but they hire them for like their own like university fixated rates. Should I go and do some digging to find out how much they actually cost and then take my prices and change them to where they're a little bit less than the actual university so I'm more appealing to them? Or should I keep it the same or a little bit more and just offer more?
What do you think?
I feel like because we're college students, I feel like it should be a little bit cheaper than what because the university I go to charges, they're stupid charges. Like it's expensive.
How much?
It's probably like $100 per session.
Okay.
I feel like $70.
How much do you make?
$80.
How much do you make? How much do you make? Does a trainer there make? What's this?
I have no
commission?
idea. I have
Okay.
no idea. I have
Okay.
not looked
I would
into it
assume
at
it's
all.
70-30 or 80-20.
That's
Something
or
like that.
something.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like,
Normally, I would tell you don't compete on price
okay.
because that's the fastest way to go to zero. But the universities, it just depends.
Okay.
I'm not sure I can guide you on that particular thing. I could say that I could see you working in a box gym, which is going to make your message incongruent, right? Because now you're marketing on campus, talking to students, doing it at the rec center makes sense to me. If I'm like thinking about how convenient, how convenient I want it to be for people. Now you can go do the exact same thing, but you're just not going to be necessarily targeting college kids.
Yeah.
You might be targeting more residents of the area.
Okay.
Which doesn't change anything besides where you're putting your QR codes.
Not at all.
Right? So either way, you're going to make unless you meet somebody in a park, you're going to take splits, you're going to take commission.
Yeah.
In those two settings. So, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I actually think it's a good thing. It just depends on how well that facility is run and who the fitness directors are. And if you look up to those people and you admire them, Liberty University's rec center could be a really good spot for you to build your foundation.
Okay.
Build your reputation. You're not just some fly-by-the-night guy that wants to meet people in a park.
Yeah.
Like that can work, but if you have this resource right there, that would be a consideration
Okay.
that I might want to have.
Cool.
And let them take their split, because they're going to provide you with all the equipment. You're going to have no overhead to invest in. Maybe this will help you think about this. So I did Lightning 900. They didn't have that program. So I was hired as a trainer already.
Okay.
I went in and I said, hey, I'd like to create, this was me exercising my entrepreneurial spirit. I was like, I'm going to create something. I'll still keep my same splits. I think it was 70-30 there. I'll keep my 30, you keep your 70. But I want to do my own thing. I don't want to just be another trainer on the same track as all the other trainers that just get recycled through here.
Yeah.
I want to try to do something different and creative and maybe set up your own marketing within the gym, and bring something that adds value to the table that's exciting, and they might negotiate with you on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Is it something I should look into in getting my group instructor license as well? Do you think, or should I just stick to the personal training?
It depends where you want to go, but my thought, and when it first comes to my head, is results are a resume, and listen, congratulations on NASM. I know you're going to pass it next week, but after you hang that thing on the wall, I don't care about it one bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
It's there for two purposes, so that you know how to keep people safe, and so that you are certified in the eyes of whatever county that you're in.
Even would different fitness companies hire you, even though you don't have that certification? Because
You need to have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they don't. I guess they may not care.
It just depends. That's why I said I can't give you the answer. I could only. Are you rolling, Zay?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't give you the answer. I could only tell you what I would do. And I got my CPT because it was what was required for me to do what I wanted to do. And we are personal trainers, right?
Yeah.
And we put ourselves in a group setting. I wanted this company to be built on that principle.
Yeah.
That we were personal. So that's why we landed on NASM or any NCCA accredited certification. I didn't elect to get any other ones because results are my resume, and no one ever asked me to see my NASM.
Oh yeah.
Right? And at the time when I was considering it, I was building this business and training 40 hours a week. I was training 40 camps a week, plus working another 40 to 60 hours a week building the business side.
Yeah.
And I didn't perceive the value of those extra certifications to. I didn't need them. A.
Yeah.
And B, I didn't see the value in them personally. But that doesn't mean they're wrong for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Doesn't mean they're wrong for you. Getting your CPT is like, you get a NASM CPT, you got one of the best, and that's all you'll need. I went back, let's see, I did get a nutrition certification.
That's what I thought about, like the 2 years you have to renew it or whatever.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna do first. Was
Yep.
immediately get that nutrition one.
Yep, that's what I did.
Okay.
And then I got foreman safety, and that's how I've kept mine. So you will bolt on, but I didn't bolt on wide. I bolted on deep.
Okay.
Like I went personal training, and then what's all the things underneath that I would need to do to keep my CEUs.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I recommend to all of our trainers too at Burn is get your CPT through NASM and then just continue every 2 years to just bolt on something else that you can use inside of the gym.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Okay, so what'd you learn?
I learned that there's a lot to learn.
A lot to learn.
But mainly it's
Me too. Hey, that'll never stop. I got a lot to learn too.
a lot of it is I think about the like what I want to do, but I never think about like how to do it. And now I'm just thinking like
So let's land the plane because I want this to be valuable for you, and we still have a couple minutes. So let's land the plane. I'll help you land the plane. This is a good exercise. All right.
okay.
Let's talk about takeaways. So you go, all right, I'm going to leave here now, and I'm going to do 3 things. And the definition of do is I'm going to leave here, and I'm going to put them on the schedule before tonight ends.
Okay.
Okay, just get them on your schedule because you can have a goal, you can have a dream, right? And the dream is just like, oh, to the moon. That's what I say. That's my dream.
Yeah.
Right? Philosophical. Then you can have a goal, right? But dreams don't become real until you have goals.
Okay.
And goals don't become real until you put shit on your schedule.
Okay.
Right? So that's how
Yeah.
you get there, is put it on your schedule. So everything that I would do to post anything I learned, like when I go to like seminars or something like that. I went to a Tony Robbins business conference. Like I mentioned, he was one of my biggest mentors. I would, after a 10-hour day, go into my room for 2 hours and then go do a synopsis of everything that I learned that day,
Okay.
rank order it in terms of what the priority is in the business, and then put everything on the schedule
Okay.
so that it's real. So I want you to take these and put it on the schedule. What's something that resonated with you? You're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that.
The first thing I need to do is the pipeline thing.
Okay.
Really stuck
So
out
write
to
down
me.
pipeline. And then you're going to ask yourself the why rule. Why pipeline?
Well, because without a pipeline, I don't have a trajectory. So I need the pipeline in order to figure out where I'm gonna go.
Okay.
So trajectory. I don't know how to spell that.
Trajectory.
That's close enough. That's fine.
Okay, so you have your pipeline. That's one thing. What are we going to do? Okay, so
The marketing.
So why do I have the pipeline to build a trajectory? Why do I need a trajectory to?
Pipeline.
No, you need a trajectory so that you can make a
Living purpose.
message. Okay, because you're going to remember we talked about the funnel, right?
Yeah.
And you want your message to be congruent up and down the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
So the pipeline is your back end management for the front, which is
Okay.
the pipeline, which is the funnel. Not to
Okay.
use like.
No, it's
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. So you need your message. All right. So then I have my pipeline. What do you mean by trajectory? Meaning that you need to
Like the steps to go in order to get my message across. The things that I need to accomplish in order to get that message.
Okay. That's kind of what we're doing here. So I don't
Yeah.
know what trajectory means still.
Okay. So
It means this exercise. It means steps I need to take to get to where I'm going.
well then trajectory,
Aren't we doing that right now?
I'm defining it.
Okay.
So it's like first I have to actually get my CPT. That's like the first thing I have to do. And then the marketing stuff, like
Okay.
the posters, the QR codes.
So
right?
So that's your pipeline.
Okay.
So build your pipeline,
So
and then you got it right underneath that message inside of your pipeline.
okay. So it's just I don't know what to write.
It's okay. So no, it's good. This is good. So you go. I need my trajectory. I need my steps. Okay.
Yeah.
First, I need to finish my CPD.
Yes.
And I can't do anything without that. Right.
Mm-mm.
That's going to happen simultaneously as you're figuring out what the heck am I going to say to people.
Okay.
Okay. That's your
Yeah.
message. Your message has 3 levels to it. What are they?
The message is okay, so it's like,
Top of funnel, then
okay, so the first part would be every person has something that's holding them back. They need to figure out what that is, and eventually they're going to get to a point where, at least for me, I want to target people who are struggling with mental health and the reasons and ways to fix that without it becoming toxic. So people with mental health, market towards them, because people with mental health, they always end up falling back into this slump. And so but they always have this, I've done a lot of research on it, and through my own personal life, is whenever they get to that slump, they end up getting to a point where they want to explode. They want to find something where they get out of it. But then they get to a point and then they get stopped and then they crash back down. So it's like I need to figure out a way to market to them to when they're in that part where they want to fix, that's how I get them at the top of the pipeline.
great.
So
Great.
I don't know what to
Perfect.
do with that though.
That's how you fill the top of your funnel.
Okay.
Okay. Your message. So let me help you out with this. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
We have 3 pieces. All right. Here, goal plus, we're going to put a star for impact. Okay.
Okay.
Because that's the goal. You want to make
Yeah.
money so that you can continue to help people. That's impact. Okay. So here we go. Top of funnel. Okay, is going to be your message. What are you saying? Message and platform.
Okay.
What are you saying and where are you saying it?
Okay.
Okay. Number 2 is middle funnel. Okay. Middle is, remember we talked about where you go out with this message and it's a broadcast across all these different platforms.
Yeah.
Where do you want to send them?
Probably just my email or my phone number. One
Okay.
of those 2.
So you're going to need a contact form. Okay. That could be email in stage 1 of this, and then you're going to want some type of CRM.
What's a CRM?
Client Relationship Management Program.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Constant
like-
contact.
Okay.
MailChimp. It's one of those things, right? That way, remember that one costs a little bit of money,
Yeah.
but it's going to, you can hook it right into your website, super, super easy.
Okay.
So you're going to need a site here. You need a Squarespace. If you just go out and put name and number, you're going to miss middle of funnel, and you can do that, but just knowing you're going to miss a big part of this, which is
Okay.
garnering all of these people's contact information so that you can continue to do follow-ups with them.
Okay.
Okay. And then bottom. Okay, bottom of the funnel is phone, meetup, or text.
Okay.
Okay, and this is where you are shaking hands metaphorically with meet up in person if you can.
Yeah.
That's going to be the best way for you to transfer your passion.
Okay.
FaceTime is the next one.
Okay.
So if you're going to call somebody, like call them on a video, then phone, then text.
Okay.
If you go text first, you're probably going to drop off a pretty large percentage.
Okay.
Right? So you do all those things, right? It's just like that's the hierarchy.
Okay.
Hey, can we meet up? Can we FaceTime? Can we phone? Can we text?
Okay.
Now that's just that, and that's how you get started. So you get your CPT, you get you explain your message so well.
Yeah.
Right? So just work on, maybe that's part of your brainstorm, and then you're dropping people into your email for now. When you've got 3 or 4 people that are paying you and you can afford it, go buy a CRM.
Okay.
Right? Because you want to learn business, right?
Yeah.
The way you learn business is you make money and then you invest it back into fix your problems.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go phone, text, meet up, and that's a simple way for you to just think about conceptually starting with a lot of people and then ending up with you know, a handful of people. And then you're going to have leads and you're going to know all your percentages. And now we can start the business talk. Okay, we can start saying, okay, how many people did I reach? Impressions. How many people hit my form? Okay, form. Then that's the website views. How many people filled my form? How many people submitted my form? How many people that submitted the form? How many did I talk to? How many did I meet with? How many did I sign? Then how many referred? Once you want to get pretty sophisticated with it, but that's like the full pipeline and
Cool.
marketing, fitness, business marketing 101. But if you learn this and you get really good at this and you know the ins and outs of all the ways that the different platforms and messages and middle funnel landing pages, and you can start to get into A/B testing and all types of nerdy marketing things, this is where it starts right here.
Okay.
But dude, I'm telling you right now, if you already love the craft of fitness, right?
Yeah.
Marketing is business. I've told this organization since day one, we are a marketing company whose product is results for our members. Right? We are not a fitness company. All of our competitors are fitness company who uses technology to scale concept.
Okay.
Okay? See the fundamental difference there?
Yeah.
The human side of it versus in the culture side of it versus the profit side in the non-human side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. I think it's a good place to stop. What do you think?
It was good. I'm gonna take a picture of this.
Yeah, you can have it.
Oh.
My gift to you.
That and paying my mom
There
a
you go.
salary.
Yeah. No, I would do anything for your mom. You know that.
She talks very highly of
Yeah,
you.
she's just like a sister to me. I just love her to death, and we're building this company together, and she's been such a center of it. I mean, you might not see this. Maybe you guys do talk about this. I don't know, but she does Burn University, right?
Yeah.
And she gets people from all over the country to come in here and to work with her, and her and Ashley Beasley. And so, like those two, like they are at the highest level of our 5,000. We have 5,000 employees. There's about 1,200, 1,300 trainers.
Yeah.
They're at the top of that hierarchy.
Yeah, they're
Right? Like your mom is a freaking beast.
Yeah, she is.
And there's a lot of people across this country and this world that are very inspired by what she does. And it looks like you're one of them. I'm one of them, and it's cool that you caught the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is cool.
I'm glad I could help today.
Very contagious.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Dude, you got it.